Hello friends, in this video I am going to explain about definition and approach to FUO, that is fever of unknown origin. Before starting, I would like to tell you that fever is not a disease per se. It is a symptom of something going inside the body or something going wrong with our thermoregulatory system, and we need to find out the cause. I have seen many doctors telling during rounds that that's the fever case and we have started the patient on antibiotics and fever has subsided and they are happy. By this way, your patient may be happy because fever is subsided, but as a doctor, you should know what you have treated. Now let's start our discussion on FUO. First of all, how do you define FUO? Firstly, there should be fever of more than 101 degree Fahrenheit on at least 2 occasions. Second point is duration of fever should be more than 3 weeks. The third important point is there should not be non-immunocompromised state. And the fourth and important point is the diagnosis of fever remain uncertain after thorough history taking, physical examination and certain obligatory investigations, which includes regular investigations like CBC, RFT, LFT, inflammatory markers like ESR, CRP, ferritin, LDH, autoimmune profiles like ANA and RF, urine analysis, urine culture, blood culture, and radiological investigations like chest X-ray and USG abdomen. These are the obligatory investigations which are must before diagnosing FUO. Then let's come to causes of FUO. Causes can be broadly divided into 4 groups. First is infectious, second non-infectious inflammatory disease, third neoplasms, and fourth miscellaneous causes. We will discuss causes of each of them separately. The first is infectious, which may include bacterial, viral, parasitic and fungal. Common bacterial causes includes tuberculosis, atypical mycobacterium, leptospirosis, typhoid, syphilis, infective endocarditis, Q fever, etc. Then viral causes may include HIV, hepatitis, herpes and dengue. Common parasitic infection includes malaria, toxoplasmosis, schistosomiasis, etc. And common fungal infection include aspergillosis, candidiasis, mucormycosis and cryptococcus. These are the common infections which we come across the practice. This is the table directly from the Harrison. It includes list of all infections which can cause FUO. Important ones are highlighted with yellow marker. The next is non-infectious inflammatory disease, which includes systemic rheumatic and autoimmune disease like ankylosing spondylitis, autoimmune hemolytic anemia, Behçet's disease, rheumatic fever, rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's syndrome and SLE. The next is vasculitis, which may include giant cell vasculitis, polyarteritis nodosa and Takayasu arteritis. Next is granulomatous disease and last is autoinflammatory syndromes like adult onset Still's disease, familial Mediterranean fever. Guys, if you search article for FUO, you will find many articles with adult onset Still's disease as a diagnosis of FUO. Guys, you may think these are very rare diseases, but if you have a case of FUO, you have to open up your mind and investigate extensively to come to a particular diagnosis. The next is neoplasms, which may include hematologic malignancies, solid tumors and benign tumors. Then last is miscellaneous causes. Important ones are aseptic meningitis, also called as Malloret syndrome, Hashimoto's encephalopathy, hypersensitivity pneumonitis, Sweet syndrome and ulcerative colitis. The next and important point is how to approach a patient with FUO. The first step is to do detailed history and physical examination. The points which you must ask are contact with patient having disease like tuberculosis, then travel, sexual and drug history, then occupational history, then history of previous surgery or implant insertion or any other minor procedures, then detailed physical examination from top to bottom to find out potentially diagnostic clues, which is known as PDCs. Example, lymphadenopathy, which may give a diagnostic clue after biopsy, then Eschar's for scrub typhus, and Meller-Rasch for SLE. Let me tell you friends, in your practice, if you get any case with fever, try to diagnose within 4 to 5 days of presentation, because after 4 to 5 days, you may yourself give some treatment or antibiotics that may dilute the symptoms or presentation. The next step is to do all obligatory investigations which we discussed, which includes around 20 investigations which you have to do for defining FUO. After these investigations, if you are finding the diagnosis, it's well and good, you have to treat the cause. But if you are not finding, you have to search potential diagnostic clues. So, next step is to find the potentially diagnostic clues. And if you are finding the PDCs, you have to do guided diagnostic tests like culture and biopsy. But if you are not finding any PDCs, the next step is to do cryoglobin and fundoscopy. Cryoglobin is to search for cryoglobinemia, and fundoscopy may be done to see the choroid tubercle to rule out the extrapulmonary tuberculosis. Even after these steps, if you are not able to find any diagnosis, the next step is to FDG PET scan or CT scan or labeled leukocyte scintigraphy scan. If you are finding any abnormality in that, confirmation test can be done like biopsy and culture to know the diagnosis. But after this step, if diagnosis is not made, usually what we do is we take repeat history and do thorough physical examination to find the PDCs. Practically, what we recommend is the repeat history and examination should be done by other physician who has not seen the patient yet. And after repeat examination also, you are unable to find any PDCs. The next step is to do CT chest and abdomen, and also temporal artery biopsy can be done to rule out arteritis, especially in elder ones. And the last and next step is to further diagnostic test, and therapeutic trial can be considered. And further diagnostic test may include echocardiography, bone marrow biopsy, and repeat FDG PET scan. This is the chart of approach to FEO from Harrison. This is the summary of what we discussed in one slide. You can take screenshot if you want. Then I would like to discuss important takeaway points from our video. The first point is try to find out PDCs from history itself. As I discussed, empirical treatment or antibiotics may dilute the symptoms and signs. Then detailed physical examination must be done. If drug-induced fever is suspected, and you have to stop the drug. But if fever persists beyond 72 hours after discontinuation of suspected drug, it is unlikely that this drug is the cause. Then scintigraphy imaging should be only performed during febrile phase. It will help to identify anatomic location of ongoing metabolic process, and biopsy and cultures can be used to diagnose the disease. Then empiric antibiotic therapy can decrease the yield of culture report. But if hemodynamic instability and neutropenia persist, we may have to start antibiotics. Then in case of positive tuberculin skin test, trial of antitubercular drug can be started. If fever does not respond after 6 weeks of empirical treatment, another diagnosis should be considered. The last point is, sometimes patient may develop new symptoms or findings in setting of FEO, which can lead to specific diagnosis. So, repeated clinical examination and history taking is important in FEO case. So friends, this was all about this video. I hope you liked the content. Do like and subscribe our channel and also share it among your friends. Thank you.